is up, YouTube? It's Mr.StealUrGurl with a blast from the past. It is the 2v2 STA tournament. I think this happened in 2014, the year I began casting. And this was hosted by The Day All Fades. My goodness, I have not seen or heard from that guy in a long while. Anyhow, we're going to be looking at the match between Ruby Rose and OSS. We got Ruby Rose with Nausicaä and Shade, and OSS with Spiff and Knight. You may have seen this video, because I definitely cast it before, back before I had all the hardware situated and figured out and how to do this. So I am going to look at it again. I think you guys might enjoy it, because it was definitely one of my best games of all time. And down here we got G2A trying to sell you Titanfall 2. I highly recommend that game. It's a great game. But anyhow, I will be back with the cast. Alright guys, welcome back to the video. I am very excited to do this again, because I remember doing this a long time ago. And about 2, maybe 3 years ago, because it's 2017 now. Yeah, and that's when I first started. The map is Arctic Refuge. And yes, I did do an Arctic Refuge cast. I'm going to pause it so I can talk a little bit. Arctic Refuge cast a few days ago. I put it out last week or this week or whatever you want to call it, but I definitely did one in my last video. So I'm doing it again. It's another 2v2. Again, it is the STA 2v2 tournament. It is game 1. It is their game 1. So I'm going to see how this gets on. And I was going to say something, but I guess I forgot. Who cares? Anyhow, team 1, we got Ruby Rose. Back in the day when they were considered TA, he is Nausicaä. He is spawning in as the teal, the right color, Cybern Commander. He is doing a triple land factory opener, which is the right thing to do. And his teammate, Shade, spawning in as the blue UEF commander, dropping down a triple land factory. Again, the right thing to do against great players. But anyhow, guys, Team 1 up here is Ruby Rose. And we got OSS, my old clan. Back when it was active, we got good old Spiffinator. Spiff, he is spawning in as the orange Cybern Commander, dropping down a triple land factory. Again, the right thing to do. But with his engineers, that is an interesting idea right there. And his teammate and my buddy, well, Spiff's my buddy too, but he always signs in offline and doesn't really talk to me as much anymore. Actually, I haven't heard from him in like a year, so that's kind of a bummer. But I still love you, Spiff. Hit me up sometime. I would love to hear from you. Anyhow, Knight, another person who I like to hear from. He's a great guy. He is spawning as the white UEF commander, doing the whole camouflage thing against the snowy background, dropping down a triple land factory, the right thing to do. As always, it is a triple land factory gangbang, everybody. And I'm going to speed this bad boy up just a little bit. But anyhow, I'm going to link the old video in the descriptions down below. But, you know, you will see it is very, very much so different from the way I'm casting today. And as you can see, the higher quality I have with the thing, with my screen capture software is a much better, and it's less grainy, and I'm less jerky with the mouse wheel. And as you can see, we got P-Shields and Meteors, an interesting choice there. And we got Spiff already moving up with some Loyalists to do some damage. I think he might actually get that. Is he going to get that Mass Extractor? Let's see what happens, guys. We got Nausicaä coming with the counterattack. Down goes a Mass Extractor. And Knight is pushing in with his commander, with his ACU, and a bunch of Rockheads. Now, there are no Rockheads. There's one Rockhead, 2 Rockheads. That is a weak, very weak group of units up there, except for they got the P-Shields and the ACU to really help do stuff about it. Now, we got Spiff pushing in back of both sides, guys. We got him pressing Nausicaä, and he's attacking Shades. Mass Extractor. Oh no, he's stopped microwaving. Those things are dead. There's so much going on, guys. So I think that is why I was jerky when I did this, because there's so much happening right now. There's a fight in back. Oh my goodness, Spiff won that fight in back of Shade's base. as there's a fractar going on here. That engineer needs to move. And there's fights everywhere, guys. That mass extractor went down. It looks like Spiff is going to get another mass extractor kill. And as you can see, Knight is winning out against Shade here because he's got more tanks. There's not much to do, not much that could happen against these tanks with this little narrow passageway. But Knight did the trick. He allowed Spiff to get in back and take out 3 mass extractors. That is a major setback this early on. And Knight doing the wise thing and pulling a small attack force. Will this mass extractor go down? Oh my goodness, that is 4 mass extractors that Shade is now missing. Now, Spiff is in a bit of trouble here. His main force, is this going to be a base trade situation? I think it is. But again, I'm going to link this video in the old video in the description, and please do not judge it too harshly because I was just beginning and very, very excited. That's another reason why it's jerky. But guys, Spiff put down a rapid fire point defense, and he is being almost engulfed in Nausicaä's loyalists. Spiff, I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know how he's going to fight this out, how he's going to survive. That engineer bites the dust. But Spiff is, a structure detonate takes out a large portion of Spiff's units as Knight is slowly moving in with his rocket tanks to do some damage there. Now, the Brackman, the defensive Brackman, that is definitely a good idea. Spiff is definitely running away. He's probably going to research ACU stuff because that's all he really's got. That engineer is going to die. And I like how it's a straight base trade operation. That engineer has to die or else this base could come back. Knight just chilling, kicking back, has a point defense, being repaired. The wise thing was Shade repaired. Shade is being repaired. And a bunch of point defense. Now that is almost a waste of mass because they are more units here. But the Brackman are doing their thing, taking out a mass no, that point defense is not doing much. I mean, those Brackman aren't doing much against that point defense. Now, Spiff wisely stopped production of units here. He should control K them at the last second so he doesn't get anything out of them. And wisely so he does control K them. Now, Spiff wiped out everything here. That is a lot of research points there. And I like how he waited to the last second to control K his research, his mass extractor, so he got as much as he could, and he still got one little mass extractor there, so he still has an income. And I like how Spiff and Knight joined forces there. Oh goodness, it looks like Spiff's units are out in the open. They could definitely be destroyed right there. And it'd be wise if Spiff pulled in back and did some damage to Shade's economy. Spiff putting down some research stations. I don't know what Spiff is going to do. He has, and again, I cast this over 2 years ago, so Spiff doesn't have much economy or much to do of anything. He's definitely going, he's got that dynamic power shunt going on. He's definitely going for the nanobot weapon, and I like how he's assisting his teammates' factories. Knight's ACU is being lazy, but Spiff's is not. He is paying rent, chilling in his buddy's land, paying rent like a good roommate does. Nausicaä has had time to put down 2 mass extractors, and he's got plans for more. He's got a nice little land factory, and he's sending, oh my goodness, he's sending an engineer up to reclaim the factories. I would rebuild on the mass extractors at least. I would definitely do that, and maybe even rebuild at least one factory up there. And I know Spiff, back when I first did this, said that Nausicaä made the right move by reclaiming that because he needed fast mass, because he's probably going for something like a megalith. That's probably what's going down. But I kind of disagree with that because at least one factory here at half price could do some good work to help Shade out. But definitely don't reclaim the mass points there. Those should definitely be... Well, actually, maybe Spiff was correct. Because we got Knight with a nasty force of rocket tanks. So I think that is actually what happened there. Because if those rocket tanks were just to go over there and see one factory, and I think that would be just a big waste for Nausicaä. And Nausicaä is definitely setting up shop there. Maybe this is where I said he shouldn't have reclaimed. He should have rebuilt over. I think that, and I'm going to hold firm on that, Spiff. If you're watching this, if you ever watch my videos again or talk to me again, yeah, I definitely hold firm that that's definitely where he should have done that. And Spiff's a great guy. I know he's a very busy man. He's got a great profession. He told me that what his job was, and really, really good profession. I don't really think he wants me to air out his life, so I'm not going to do that. But I like how Knight and Spiff have Shade just really cornered very nicely. And Spiff's moving up with this ACU. That is not a bad idea, but unfortunately for them, definitely seen on that radar right here what is coming in from the flank. And Spiff wisely turns around to deal with this attack. And Hunker, not a bad choice there from Spiff. Now, I like how there's a lot of P-shields. I'm pretty... Oh, smart! Very smart there with that engineer sucking up that yummy, yummy delicious mass there. Now, this is the first time for you guys watching this particular match. I'm telling you, it is one of the best matches, and that is why I'm redoing it. I'm just going to reiterate that I'm much better at casting than it was, so I think it's a good thing that I'm doing this. So I hope you guys enjoy that, and because that was one of my most popular of videos. And I definitely want to showcase it in its proper light, and also bring back some of these older players and just talk about some of the things they did right. Like Knight, definitely doing the right thing, putting down research stations that his commander should be building, and he should be having his commander doing the commander trick. But there's a lot of micro going on up here, so that is definitely why that is not happening. And this engineer is building up the mass extractors now that he's confident that Knight's units are indeed busy. Now, Spiff's nanobot weapon will do very, very little against P-shields. See, P-shields are extremely strong at fighting against the ACU. And Knight has a nice force down here. Now, Knight has to micro 2 units, and I don't know how he's going to do that, because this is high-level play here, guys, as you can see. Spiff has to micro his ACU and this small group of units, does not want to lose them. He should take those loyalists and push them back up to Nausicaä's old base, because right now, economically speaking, Team Ruby Rose is running away with it. Definitely running away with it. Is Spiff going to stop and suck up some yummy, yummy mass? Because I think he should. Now, this looks like it should be the end for Spiff, because as you could see in that video I showed, the graphic I showed you earlier was the TA tournament challenge site, and it said that Ruby Rose won one game. If you saw this video, you know who wins, and it's kind of silly of me to even mention. But if you haven't watched this, my old video, then you don't know who wins this. This is kind of a cliffhanger, guys. It's really, really good, because these great players are fighting against each other, and you could just totally tell that the high-level play is just really good. I'm being silly here, because this stalemate here is just it's really not a lot going on except for Spiff defending and these rocket tanks defending. Now, Shade has an overwhelming force, but you can't just walk in with her units. You can't just do that. That's the thing with this stalemate, because of that nanobot weapon commander. Now, these units here can't just walk in unless they get Cobras, and an air factory there by Nausicaä. Not a bad idea, but Cobras might be a better investment. Field engineer by Knight. I wonder what that is. What is being researched? Now, a lazy engineer. Why is an engineer being lazy? I don't see the point. But then again, There's a lot of micro going on, so you really can't blame these guys. Spiff is jump jetting in deeper into Nausicaä, not Nausicaä's base, but Shade's base. Now, that is going to be a major problem for Shade. Now, the fire upgrade, the speed upgrade in which that the ACU fires, makes very short work of that mass extractor. Now, the mass extractors are in so much danger here, as Spiff just walks in there and wipes out 2 mass extractors. Oh, he lets that one live. I take that back. 1 mass extractor so far. Maybe this is the second one that's going to go down. Is it going to go down? I think it will. Spiff is going to get... And he's got the AA on his ACU, which is very, very strong. 2 mass extractors down for Shade. And Shade gets a small force of units in. Now, this research station needs to live. Seriously, if Spiff wants to be successful, that research station needs to survive. Now, the P-shields soak up that artillery fire. That is a beautiful thing about P-shields. And Spiff is getting in there. Will he have the TAC missile launcher in time on his commander? Yes, he does. That is really good play there. Now, Spiff is out of reach of those point defense, except for that one. Never mind. That point defense just got completed. And he's using his TAC missile launcher to destroy units, to destroy the mass extractors. Now, that is a wise thing for him to do, to get in there and disrupt the enemy's mass points. Now, is there a radar here to see this? I don't know if OSS sees Ruby Rose's Nausicaä moving in back with a large force of Brackman just to clean up. Now, Knight is pulling back to a defensive position, destroying lots of things. Now, lots of research stations are going to go down for Spiff. Oh, he structure detonates one, but does not take out anything with him. Now, a megalith is definitely coming down. That is what we are going to see for sure. And Spiff is looking fairly healthy, considering that he just took 2 point defense to the face. He got health on his commander in training 3, I believe. That commander is he back in the green? No, he's still in the yellow, but he effectively shut down this expansion for Nausicaä. Nausicaä is pulling back his units for some reason. He really should have pressed, but you know what? Maybe he saw something I didn't see. I would have pressed if I were him, but he took down a small amount of Knight's economy and 1 research station for Spiff, which is really going to put a hampering to his success because he only has that ACU. Really, that's the only thing he has to keep him from being defeated. Now, that point defense, I would like to see one under a factory shield, but that was put there hastily to stop a fast attack. Now, look at all these units clashing right here. Now, Knight is just annihilating them. Oh my goodness. I think Knight won that because he had more combat units and less P-shields. As you can see, Shade is very fond of the P-shields right now, and Knight has more combat units to do damage. Now, that is very smart having adapters right here to stop the tactical missile launcher of the commander, and that commander gets slapped with a megalith cannon. And unfortunately for Nausicaä, one of those TAC missile launchers takes out a loyalist, and Spiff wisely backs out of that because megaliths against a commander do so much damage. And Shade expanding and rebuilding her economy is a very wise move. And a pincher attack from Spiff and Knight. Knight has his P-shields positioned in a very, very smart way, soaking up most of that damage so most of his units don't die. He is committing to this, I believe. Shade really should be pushing in right now to stop this. Now, as you can see, these units are slowly dying, but lots of damage already occurred to Nausicaä's Nausicaä's units. As you can see, Spiff took out that land gantry. Now, that land gantry probably got sucked up because of the threat of Spiff being right there. I would have rebuilt, but Spiff probably would have killed it. Spiff is slowly being damaged, but you can't just kill a commander that highly upgraded. And as you can see right here, guys, Knight has pushed back Shade back to her own base. And you can see that Shade has the high ground, but yet she gets blasted with a large number of Demolisher shells. Even though there's a bunch of P-shields, the P-shields crumble from Demolisher shells. Now, this factory definitely should have a shield built upon it. I don't see why it does not. Is there a shield being built on it? I can't tell. But it just goes down. A factory shield would have really helped Shade out right here. These factories are crumbling. Shade's units are being demolished. Spiff is pushing in from the side and taking out mass extractors. I think this is it, folks. This is where Ruby Rose gets broken. Lots of factories going down. Shade is being hunted as if she is a dog. But Nausicaä is pushing in with a large, with at least 4 megaliths. And as anybody knows, 4 is a large number of megaliths. And Spiff takes out Shade, is hitting Shade with his nanobot weapon, taking Shade into the red, and Knight pulls back a few units to help take her out, and Shade goes down in a blaze of glory. Shade did amazing in this match. Shade was awesome. She really pushed and held her own, and even pushed her opponent and held them off for as long as she could. Team Ruby Rose is still in the running because look at all those megaliths. Those megaliths could definitely wipe out Knight's units here. But we shall see what happens because those P-shields are very, very strong. They are 3 land gantries. Will there be a cicada? A cicada might actually do the trick, guys. Now, Spiff is pushing in with his ACU. What is Nausicaä going to do about it? Hunkering down without finishing a point defense. That is not the thing you want to do. What is he doing? Hunkering down without all that stuff. Knight gets the linked railgun. So I think these mass extractors now have point defense or AA. I can't remember. Well, anyhow, please, Nausicaä, pop up and finish that. Finish that, please. That would really help you out. And it appears that Spiff is being pushed back by the 2 megaliths. Now, will Knight be able to finish these things up? Will he have Afterburner on his units? Oh my goodness, those Demolisher shells are doing so much damage to those megaliths. Those megaliths really should have a cicada accompanying them. What is going on here? This is madness, guys. Those megaliths are falling so fast. 4 megaliths just been demolished by demolishers. What is Nausicaä going to do with those 2 megaliths and that 1 unbuilt rapid fire point defense? No shield on these back. Oh yes, they are shields. I'm blind. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just kidding. I'm not blind. I could totally see. But anyhow, God, those demolishers are so deadly at this point. Oh goodness. And Nausicaä decides to control K when he sees the afterburning group of knights, rockheads, demolishers, and P-shields pushing in to clean him up. That, guys, is how you play Supreme Commander 2. This, it was definitely one of the best matches I have ever casted. There have been a few that I've casted that are up at this level, and I've definitely had to do this one again. I don't think this is going to be the only cast I do for the week. I'm just doing this one because I want to show it. It's a new year, and I want to show you a new version of this video. So let's see the winners here. There is our boy Spiff with his dynamic power shunt, making him all electrified. There he is, just chilling with his AA and his tactical missile launcher on his ACU. He is one bad looking ACU. That is something you do not want coming to your base or your units. And there is Knight. There is his white ACU just chilling there in the snow, just kicking back, helping build things. being a great commander. And I think those units actually have shields on them. That's why they had... Oh, wait. I think... probably not. Maybe, let me just take a look at these tanks. Yes, they all have shields on them. That's why they lasted so darn long. And I think... Spiff was going to push in the engineer. That engineer that survived pretty much the entire match to reclaim and have an economy and maybe even rebuild. He has one mass extractor. So anyhow, Nausicaä and STA did amazing. They did so many right moves, and even if you did all the right moves, you could still lose because for some reason Spiff and Knight just figured out a way to counter everything that was going on, and they did awesome. So this game was won by the OSS. Ruby Rose had to take the defeat for this one, but it was still an amazing match, and I have to say, guys, thank you so much for playing it. But anyhow, guys, like this video, subscribe to my channel, favorite it because that helps me out, and be sure to comment down below because I just want to see if you guys made it this far. Comment OSS. I would like to see that if you guys made it this far. So comment OSS and share this with your friends, family, and foes. And as always, everyone, GG.